This is going to be what we've been talking about. It's kind of our featured speaker tonight. A man I consider a brother and a friend both. Mr. Stewart Rhodes. He is the founder and the national director of an organization known as the Oath Keepers. Stewart.
Good afternoon, Knoxville. I am honored to be standing in front of you today to send you the message from the Oath Keepers that we will defend the Constitution. I want to read something to you that I think applies directly to our time. This is George Washington's address to his troops right on the eve of the battle for Long Island. And he says, "The time is now near at hand, which must probably determine whether Americans are to be freemen or slaves, whether they are to have any property they can call their own, whether their houses and farms are to be pillaged and destroyed, and they consigned to a state of wretchedness from which no human efforts will probably deliver them. The fate of unborn millions will now depend, under God, on the courage and conduct of this army," is what he said. And folks, such a time has come again. The fate of unborn millions depends on the conduct of this Army, this Marine Corps, this Air Force, this National Guard, this Navy, and these reserves today. And what is more, the fate of our children and our grandchildren depend on your conduct, especially you veterans out there. I want everyone in this audience who has ever sworn an oath to stand up and raise your right hand right now. Stand up. Those of you who think that your oath expired, put your hand down. If you think your oath has expired, I don't care how long it's been, put your hand down. There shouldn't be a hand going down, because you know what? It's for life. That oath is forever. Okay. When we swore that oath, we meant it. When we swore that oath, we understood that we were writing a blank check to the American people that said, up to and including my life, I will defend the Constitution. That's right. So I say to you, every one of you that took that oath, you are still bound. You no longer have a choice. Your choice was made when you took that oath. You must fulfill your duty, not just your right, but your duty to defend the Constitution, even if it means your life. When I founded Oath Keepers only a month ago and started to get the flood of responses from veterans, our focus is the active duty military. Our mission is to make sure that they remember their oath, that they understand the Constitution, that they swore an oath to defend, and that they know where their line in the sand is, what orders they will not obey. And we have issued our declaration of 10 orders we will not obey as a start. But the whole point is to reach out to the current serving military and police and make sure that they will be on our side. Because I got to tell you something right now. For too long in this country, people have been afraid and worried and concerned that their own troops will be used against them. And you can bet that there are people in this country who believe they can use your own troops against you. Just the other day, I was reading the comments on Daily Kos. This is the guy who regularly posts on there. He's one of their writers. He said, oh, these gun owners don't know what they're talking about. They can't stop the military. The U.S. military is a professional force, and they will shoot Americans if ordered to. And he said, when we call in airstrikes and when we flatten their houses with their children and their wives inside, they will submit, is what he said. So he thinks that the American military is going to shell you and airstrike you and kill your wives and children, is what he thinks. And another poster on there said, well, wait a minute, you'll be shelling American cities and calling in airstrikes in American cities. And he said, and this is his response, when the media is done with the demonization, they will be clamoring for us to do airstrikes on their own cities. This is what we are up against. This is why I founded Oath Keepers. I have faith in our servicemen. I know that all we have to do is teach them about the Constitution. Sadly, because they've gone to public school, quite a few of them don't know it. A lot of the younger guys, the older guys are squared away, but a lot of the younger guys just don't understand the Constitution and won't understand what's a lawful order, what's not. That's where we come in. We're going to reach them, and we need your help. Every service member you reach is one more that will stand up and say no, that will not go along with any unlawful orders. There will be no more Katrinas in this country. No more confiscation of firearms. And so that is our mission.
We're going to give you the opportunity right now to take the oath to defend the Constitution for the first time if you want to. And for those of you who have already taken that oath, we invite you to join us in reaffirming your oath to defend the Constitution. And raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm
When you're recording on
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign or domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion. So help me God.
Let the powers that be take notice. What happened here today on April the 15th, 2009, when volunteers from the great state of Tennessee stood shoulder to shoulder and reaffirmed our vow